Okay, so let's see if we can view the, there it is, chat. Okay, chat over here. This, let's bring it down here. Same with that. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on here. So I have this app I'm working on called Hompag. It is it's a customizable homepage. Oops. Don't type there, Eric. Okay, let me show you what it does. CD client, npm start. Okay, so give it a second. Dev. All right. So here we have. Let me get rid of this guy. You start out with a blank page, and then you can start customizing it. So you can say I'd like some rich text here, and you can edit the text. You can put links on it, and the links are clickable. You can go to different pages, so it acts like a real home page. And it let's see, and the page will duplicate. So if I'm like messing around with the page over here, I can mess around with this page and it'll update. If I go over here and add some more text, the text will show up over here. So these pages are always kept in sync. They're also saved on the server. So I encountered a bug today or yesterday when I started running this in production. And so the production code is running here. So this is my regular little homepage that I have. Let me move to a different one. Back to, let's just call it yeah, we'll just use the dev homepage. Okay, so here I have this homepage here. Now, if I move this guy, we get an error. And the reason that we get the error is it's saying I can't load. It's trying to construct an unknown type E. So what's going on here is this E type is the minified name of what the type used to be. So to show you that, I have the homepage stuff is saved here in this folder. Pages are saved here. So if we look at the dev page, these are the different versions of the dev page that were sent, and let's sort them, so the most recent ones. So here is, open this notepad. Okay, so we see the type E here, but if we look at an earlier version, the type is really supposed to be widget container. And what happens is the way that the serialization happens. So I use a class that I created to do serialization called a brute force serializer. And when this guy is serializing the class, the type, T, here, where do we write the type? Let's search for quote, T, okay, fine, question mark dot name. There we go. This is how I get the type, which is totally normal and correct way to get the type. However, in the minification world, this type name is mangled. So as I'm working, if all I ever did was use this as in production mode or only dev mode, this bug would not show up. But because I'm going back and forth between production and dev, it's going to be a severe inconvenience for me to have this mangling going on. And plus, it also helps me if I'm going to debug later. If if I'm going to look at these things and try to figure out what's going on, it's going to help me to have the actual type name in here rather than, this. What is this? I could guess by looking at the property names that are in it, but that doesn't help me at all. Okay, so what I did is I found some stuff online about how to turn this off. So here we are, saving the page. And so I found this page online, how to disable Webpack minification for class names. And there's a there's a way to do this. So we're gonna do that today. Okay, so, and I'll have to go back and fix this in the data in a minute. Okay, so let's find out what we're doing. So, have a build setup for development and production separately. Fine. Oh, I think I kept the wrong link. I'm gonna have to search for it again. Oops. Okay, so let's search for it again. Let's add the word React JS. How not to minify source. No, we just want to do the class names. There we go. Let's see if it has it here. Let's see. That's not it. React don't minify class names. Sorry to make you watch me go through search here. How do you obfuscate? No. Preserve ESX class name in build. Nope. Make sure that nobody's responding here. If any of you want to search it out, tell me where this thing is, then that would be awesome. Minified JavaScript, no. Let's see, React, minify, disable, class, renaming. There we go, it's gonna be similar to this. One option would be to changing how the optimization setting in Webpack works. Compress removes white space but not mangle. Preserve would minimize but not mangle function names and classes. Would remove white space, would minimize but not mangle function names. So the Terser plugin, let's see if that is looking helpful perhaps. Terser plugin. Okay, Webpack v5 comes with the latest Terser Webpack plugin out of the box if using optimization. So let's see, this is looking helpful. So apps include parallel minify, Terser options. By the way, I don't really care if the stuff is minified because minification is usually about making an app much higher performance. But since Hompag is designed to run on your local machine, minification is less important. So I could probably just disable minification, but I would like to try something a little bit more complicated like this just to learn how to use these plugins. Okay, so let's see. All right, so let's see if I can find a using Terser Webpack plugin with React. Okay, so let's see if that contains. So there's a Webpack config.js. Do we have such a thing? Looks like in our client app, we don't have it, so we'll need to make a new one. All right, so let's see what they said here. He said this one didn't work. However, tells Webpack to create and use the instance of the Terser, but some default configurations when you create another instance. Gee, that's a lot of options. I'm worried if I put that in with so many options. Let's see if I can find a better example. There we go. Since I'm working with TypeScript, see what it says here. Huh. How are they even engaging? Are they even bringing in Terser? Yeah, they are bringing it in, but how are they even using it? I'm confused. I don't think that is a proper example. Try you. Create your Webpack. Alright, so they've got these Webpacks here. So when was this put out? This was done in 2019. My understanding is that Webpack is already part of React.js. And so we just need to add the configurations. So here's their Webpack config.js. So let's play with that and see if we can get something going on here. So new app, new folder, new file. Webpack.config.js. All right, and what do they say it should look like? This. Okay, and then they have prod. These are looking promising. All right, so let's just examine what's here. We'll probably need to install that guy. npm install u. Maybe not. Okay, so we're going to, that's the main, that is correct. Then there's a dist folder, sure. Then the, this does not look right. I'm feeling that these should be TypeScript modules, not JavaScript. Did they say something here about TypeScript? No. Let's see if there's a page that talks about this Webpack config on the module level. So we'll say React TypeScript webpack.config module rules. Let's see what it says here. TypeScript Webpack basic setup. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So the test is TS or TSX. Yep. And we're going to use TS loader, and we're going to exclude node modules. So let's just put them all in there. Doop. Okay. And then they resolve the extensions. They'll just do all these like that. Then the output, okay, minimizer, da, 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 da. Okay, now going back to this other page, I liked what was coming up here. Oh, where did it go? Oh yeah, so they had a Webpack prod and a Webpack dev. I do like that idea, so let's go ahead and do those. New file, webpack.prod.js. I think that's what they called it. Webpack.prod, and then the other one was webpack.dev. F2 dev. Just make sure this is big enough for you guys to see. Okay. So now we're looking at dev and prod. What is going on here with you guys? This does the common one, but then it changes the yeah, so it changes these guys. So prod goes here. Oh, they're going to minify the CSS too. I don't think I want to do that yet. I don't want to add an extra level of weirdness. This is already pretty weird. And then what's the dev doing? So the dev is maybe we should just do this for the CSS and the prod as well. I don't feel good just not doing it I want to copy their example. All right, so what happens if I try to rebuild this? Thinking about it. So, hey, it built. Okay, so if I npm start, okay, so we go to our dev page. Yeah, that's not going to load. So I'm going to do dev2. We'll create a new page, and just for fun, I'm going to just set up a thing here, and then it takes a minute to actually save to disk on the server. So let's just, so see how it says there's an update queue. That means that there's stuff in the cache, but it hasn't been written out yet. And when it writes out, it'll go to dev2. So let's go to this here, and there's dev2, and in a little bit it'll write it out. So what we're going to look for is to see if I like to make sure when I'm debugging that my assumptions are correct. So since we're running the debug version, we should see something that looks like this. We should see like the real class names in the widget containers that are saved out. By the way, while we're waiting for this, I'll say I am strongly in favor of, until you really have to optimize your storage, try to do your file saving in a format that is human readable. And so that means that whenever I output JSON, I make sure that it's indented and formatted and has like everything's as plain text as possible. This greatly helps debugging in general. Okay, so it saved our file. Okay, assumptions validated. Cool. Okay, so now we should be able to run this page from the other one because I did build it. And so now if I go to dev2 and I move it, and then I try to load this now it's in the cache right now, so this will break if that mangling is still happening. So, all right, so it is being mangled, which is all my assumptions are correct. So now we need we've got this configuration now where we can change, when this saves, I'll look just to make sure I can understand what the mangling looks like. So now we can say, we can start changing this Webpack stuff, I think. I'm not even sure this Webpack stuff is being used. The way, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's not, because I never tried to load this extract plugin. Let's just see if this is even anywhere in. Oh, it is. It's in the package log, so it's there. Is the Terser plugin in there too? Yep. Okay. All right. So I never had to. All right. So it might be being used. So the way that we tell if it is we just put like a wrong word here, and then that should break the build. npm run build. And if this breaks, then we know that these files are getting used, and it didn't break, so they're not getting used. Shoot. All right, we got to figure out how to engage these files. Back to these pages we are on. All right, so did they change their npm install and do they engage? They're in their package. Package.json. So their start look like this. So if I, this is using the dev one, and then the build one uses the prod one. Okay, this makes more sense. So in my package.json, my start one is React scripts. So yeah, this is like, I don't have a deep understanding of like what's going on with React scripts. So I need to figure out if we can tell React scripts to use a different Webpack config. Tell React scripts. Is this the start? React scripts to use a different Webpack configuration. All right. Yes, this is exactly what I want. Okay. Solution. Well, I don't want to have to do a whole new create React app. And this is their Webpack config.js and React. Okay, did he change the, there we go. Start. So he started, alright, what is this React app rewired? Since we have created our project with create React app package, we can't simply modify. In order to achieve our goal, we will use React app rewired. After installing rewired, manually create config overrides in the root directory. Okay, and then, okay, let's do this. It's a little more than I was wanting to do, but we'll try it. We can always go backwards from this. Okay. What have we changed? Okay. Okay. Now it says to manually create config dash overrides. New file. Oh, hi Recontastic. More people need a code on Twitch. Yeah. Look at the module code and node packages folder for React scripts. Oh, yeah, you're right. Do you know if there is a way to do what I'm doing without having to use this extra package? Like just be able to tell React scripts, hey, point here for your Webpack config override. If you know how to do that, let me know. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, I'm creating this new file. So, new file. And what was it called? It was called config overrides.js. No idea outside of reverse engineering and reworking React script. Okay, well, it was a try. I think we'll get there though. Let's see what happens. Config overrides. Oh, come on. Let's try this again. Paste, enter a file. Oh, it's already there. I already created it and I forgot. Okay, fine. Here. Sure enough. Oh, I'd already had it there. I don't even know what this is here for. I don't remember ever making that file. I wonder if it was auto-generated. And it says module exports equals function override. Okay. Oh, this is generating an override function. I think this is left over from another project, so it got copy pasted in here. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay. Copy. Okay, now I don't know why he's got this here. I think this is part of his something going on with legacy lib. What's going on with legacy lib? Oh, he's getting this because he didn't know. Okay, I'm gonna comment that out. Actually, comment out that whole thing. I don't even think I need this file. I think this is just his special case. So you'll probably never need this. I don't even think I need this whole file, so whatever. Okay, and so then he changed his package.json to have these new lines. I'm still fairly new to React, so learning still really cool. If you, oh yeah, sure. I'm glad that you're finding like some interest in just watching me code. This, like, I have to say, I feel like this is so boring. But if you're enjoying it, great. Let's see. Oh, cool. Thanks. Glad to, I'm new to streaming, so I don't quite know how to get these out there. I'm trying different stuff. My son is also advising me on things to do. All right, so we need to change the start to this. I'm going to kind of keep them both side by side and see if we can learn as we go. So there's the old start. Here's the new start. So let's just call this start old. React, and I'm just going to try to build it. So npm start. It broke. Probably for the reason that I tried to break it last time. So, oh, it doesn't know about React because, well, I installed it. I did, see? There, I did it. So why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? Cannot find module React scripts dot. Oh. Why? Well, okay, what is this about? All right, and now I need to figure out what this is about. I don't know what this is. npm. Okay, what are you, Reactor Rewired? How many people? Okay, a lot of people download you. How do I configure something? Is a tweak the create React app Webpack configs without using eject and without creating a fork of the React scripts. Sounds good to me. All the benefits of Create React App without the limitations of no config. You can add plugins, loaders, yay. As of Create React App 2, this repo is lightly maintained. Okay, stuff can break. Alternative, customize craft to set the, I don't know what the CRA is. Free scripts, alternative framework for extending CRA. Okay, I need one day I'll learn what CRA is. Okay, you install it. Did it. With Webpack 3, I think this is an older version. Create React App. Thanks. That's nice having a copilot. All right. So back here, when customize Create React App. Okay. Yep. Config. All right. Create a config overrides file in the root directory. Oh, the Hansinator. The Hansinator is one of my sons. So he codes a lot. So who's on the stream? Hi Hans and everyone else. Thanks for watching. Okay. There is all right, so create a config overrides, and this is basically what mine does. Hi Hans. Let's see, flip the existing calls to React. Oh, okay, I think I'm gonna do that. That looks simpler. So yeah, the page that I got this from was solving a problem I didn't need to solve. Okay. Oh, okay, that's easy. You do not flip the call for eject, whatever. Yeah, it's nice. And then we just, okay. Now this should still break because it's going to encounter the error that I added, but it should be the error I was expecting. Could not find module copy Webpack plugin. Okay. npm install -d. Wish that would go faster. Bunch of text I don't want to read. Okay, now what happens when we start? So many vulnerabilities. It's working. It'll probably break when I do it because it's trying to load the old one, which is fine. So let's create a dev 3. Okay, so you are a rich text. All right, so now it's there. So now if I haven't built this. npm. I gotta make sure to change the build. It's React App Rewired build. We don't need that old one anymore. And test. And test. Okay. Coverage too. Yep. Start mock. Okay, everyone's redone. What is my preferred hosting site for React? AWS or GCP? Neither. I am okay. So, well, this app is special. I have used Azure in the past, and I'm actually lately, like, I've been kind of fed up with the services, and because like for my development, it's just a pain in the neck, and so I have a RPi 4 under my desk, and I'm hosting all my public websites, my RPi 4, and I use a service, which I cannot remember the name of right now, that reroutes stuff and handles certificates and things through tunneling to my Raspberry Pi. And Hans did a test on it. That we have this little app that plays this game, and it was the Raspberry Pi was able to handle thousands of WebSocket messages per second. So for development purposes, Raspberry Pi under the desk with tunneling to let people talk to it is plenty. Uh, Scaling it up to a big site, that's like a whole other thing. I find that scaling it and just trying to get it to work on Azure takes away so much development time where I'm just trying to develop features. And I think this is a mistake I've made many times. I'm trying. I got some advice once from a guy, and I thought it was generally good advice for people who are in the commercial field, and that is plan for success. Like you don't want to be in the situation where you're not ready for thousands of people to show up to your website. And that happened to me once. I had a friend who was being interviewed by the New York Times, and he knew about one of my websites, and he mentioned it. And, and like overnight, I was getting thousands of hits a day, and I had not prepared for that, so that was unfortunate. But most of the time, I'm I'm just trying to make the thing work, and trying to get it to work at scale and fixing all of the stupid configuration problems is just withering. And so I would rather just work on getting it to work and then maybe collaborate with someone else to work on scaling it out. Yeah, contingency plans for best case are a good idea as well as bad. Everyone focuses on worst case scenarios. Thanks. So yeah, that's my advice is just if you like to code like me, just focus on, don't worry about the pirates. Just focus on making the app cool. And then later on, if you're successful, then you can scale it out. It's probably worth going through a few deployments just to figure out what it's like to put it out on Azure or put it out on AWS. It's way harder than you think to get everything working, especially when you're trying to have a pipeline of like I make a change and I want to ship it out to customers in a way that will likely not break everybody if I ship a bug. That's hard, and it's at least as hard as writing the main features of your software. But once you get a good pipeline set up, then you want to keep using it and maintaining it. Okay, where am I? So I wanted to build this. npm run build. So now we'll have a production version that we can test. So, oh, I do not expect this to fix the problem yet because I haven't actually turned off the thing that I want to turn off. Okay, so now we know that it's going through these extra files. So now in prod, I want to use the Terser plugin to disable minification. Oh, but why did this not fail? This was prod. That should have failed because it tried to call something that didn't exist. That should have failed. Probably because it went to Webpack config. That's probably what happened. And the Webpack prod was never called. So that means I need to go back to the Terser. I need to go back to this documentation and here and see how we specify different files. By default, config overrides, Webpack configuration. Is there a Webpack dev server? Okay, custom scripts. It's possible to use a custom version of React scripts package. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. requires to provide the following files. Yeah, everything's just happening in Webpack config.js. Oh, and they do have a Webpack dev and prod. Webpack.prod. Wait a minute, why didn't it find that? Dot prod. Oh yeah, that's the only place it's mentioned. Requires custom React scripts package to provide the following files. Okay. Let's do this. Let's take what's in prod here and let's just do, there's a webpack.config.prod. Oh, so these are the wrong names. f2.config. f2.config. Should have seen that. That was right in front of me. Okay, now the build should fail. Please fail. Yeah, chat is awesome. It worked! You're not supposed to work. All right, maybe that's not enough. Maybe this doesn't get run. Okay, let's try something to really make it fail. Die. Because what I'm guessing is maybe that function never got executed. Okay, definitely not failing. I am not convinced that this file is getting engaged. Let's try the Webpack config. Please, oops. Please die. Thinking. Didn't die. Well, now I'm confused. It does not appear that this custom Webpack stuff is really being engaged. So we have these Webpack configs here inside client app. And I definitely have like stuff that should not compile at all. Add lambdas. That console.log sounds good to me. Like this? Or what do you mean add lambdas? Like here? Or do you mean somewhere else? Like maybe somewhere in the config? Which is it like? I suppose we could put something somewhere in this config if there's a, but there's no really functions here. These are just returning guys. Yeah, we're setting the module exports to stuff. Okay, well, and let's put one in the prod. Boop. I am in the Webpack config.prod. And might as well just add one to the dev. Config.dev. And for my eyeballs, let's do something like that. Ah, no. Okay, let's try again. Let's see, putting it in the config, yeah. Using, what's an IIFE? Okay, definitely not, okay. You're not working for me. Why are you not working? Okay. Stupid assumption checking. Okay, that's definitely calling React app rewired. So it says about this, there's this idea of a React scripts. What if I just made the dot? What if I just said, if I use this React scripts argument and just say local folder? But it's going to say I want build, start, test. Yeah, let's just try it. Didn't like that. Can I find dot? Yeah, sure. You really can't find it. Okay, anyway. Bother. So we are calling this, but is not trying to load Webpack. So let's see if Google has an answer for me. So the naming scheme is asking you to put the Webpack configs in a config folder. Wait, really? Did I just ignore the actual instructions on this page? Your project. Maybe you're right. Okay, good. All right, let's try that. New folder, config, you guys. Here you go. Move. Don't ask me. Okay. Here we go. Try that. Okay. Number one, that should have failed. Why did that work? Why was the other one failing? Okay, oh, because there's miss. Okay, but that's not what I wanted. That should have failed. So let's just do this. npm run build. This should give us some output indicating that it's using those config files. No. Okay, let's go back to what I was searching for, which was React app rewired. package. React app rewired does not read webpack.config file. Does he have an example here? Yeah, so that, I mean, that's what he's doing. But there's no, he doesn't, he's not using any of the Webpack overrides in this example. So let's see, React, let's try this. React app rewired with Webpack config overrides. Save dead, add config overrides. What's he asking? I've created a React project using create React app. Now I need to update the Webpack config, but I don't find the file anywhere. Do I need to create this file? Oh, I wonder if I need to do something through this. So why don't we do this? Console.log in the config overrides. All right, so if I do that, so that worked. Okay, so do I copy Webpack plugin? So do I need to do something inside here to engage the new Webpack? So if there's no config plugins, then create one. Great. So do I push a plugin? So here I don't actually need this copy Webpack plugin. I don't need to do that. I just need to maybe use the Webpack plugin. So, or no, this is just changing the okay. Oh, okay. I need to return here. I need to return the okay. Now I think I understand. Config. Okay, yeah. I don't need any of that. All right, starting to light up in my brain. Return. I need to require it. Return require. All right, and I'm going to move these out of the config because I feel like that's just confusing to have them there. And delete that folder. Okay, I need to require webpack config.prod.js in the config overrides. Require to /webpack config prod. Okay, let's see if this works. This should actually give us the error that I was thinking that I would get. Oh, okay, this is looking better. All right, I'm in the Webpack config. Yes, please die. Didn't like it. Okay, we're making a little progress here. And don't die. find the module Webpack merge. Okay, that's fine. npm install -d Webpack merge. Build it. Okay, new problem. Clean Webpack plugin. You know, I should probably look and see what it's asking for. Probably all of these, just for the heck of it. All right, fine. npm install -d. That one. That one. That. Whoop. That one. And that one. So, yeah, I think sometimes it stares you right in the face. Like, this is clearly saying override your configuration. And hoping this is the right configuration. Assuming it's a Webpack configuration, but that I'm not certain about. All right, build. Hey, got a little further. Post CSS plugin requires post CSS 8. Okay. Let's see if we can just avoid using the CSS stuff. So there's prod, and there's config. Who's trying to use the CSS? It's just the prod part. All right. I'm just going to say don't use these because I really don't care about this. Not even sure I need this one, but let's just go one at a time. Yeah, now this is the very first error that I introduced to try to make it crash. Now we're there. Okay. New clear Webpack plugin. Why isn't it like that? It's not a constructor. Well, I don't even think I need it. Module exports merge. Merge is not a function. But what about that? I got it from there. There's merge. So what is the thing merges? Doesn't really know, but it knows it's not a function. Oh, I think this is merge dot language. Silly. Oh, it's getting closer. Cannot read property JavaScript of undefined. Where'd that happen? Somewhere in our project. Maybe. Dot JavaScript? Yeah, it's probably somewhere one of these libraries. Let's see if this is our Terser plugin. Let's do this. Cannot read. What do they say? You are using Webpack 4 and Terser 5. This version of Terser is for Webpack 5. You need to set version Terser Webpack plugin to 4.2.3. Okay, let's see what package.json says about Terser. Terser, yeah, sure it is, sure is. So let's do 4.2.3. All right. And let's do npm install. Configuration, npm run build. Can't resolve source index.js. Okay, so I set something wrong in my prod, or actually my Webpack config. Index.ts output, that's still going to be the same. Step by step, we'll get there. What are you talking about? Maybe not. Okay. Is it? Oh, maybe it's not index.ts. What is it? It's index.tsx. Okay. Can't resolve TS loader. Getting closer. So do I need to surely not. TS loader -d. Oops. Hopefully that worked. Looks like maybe it wasn't there. I don't like that took my bad flag, so let's try this again. I want to get this done before I have to start working for real. All right, npm run build. Oh, we're getting closer. So we have a loader now. Type error and index.ts loader context.getOptions is not a function. Index.tsx. Control find get options. There is no get options. Where are we trying to do that? Well, Google. know about that? Trying to import a TS project to my JS project using TS loader, but I'm getting the following error. Older version of loader utils package in node modules. TS loader depends on this package, and an older version didn't have get options. Am I using loader utils? And we are referencing it in package.json. In the package lock, are we referencing it in the yarn lock? Oh, so a lot of people are using older versions of loader utils. This might be a situation where we need to use yarn instead of npm, because yarn is able to resolve some of these problems where you have these two versions and sometimes they can't be resolved like this. Oi, 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 oi. This is so not fun. All right. I think I'm going to throw in the towel on this one for today. I've been at this for like an hour and a half, and I'm in the weeds still. I haven't even gotten to the actual functionality of trying to modify Webpack. So I think I'm going to regroup a little bit and see if there's other ways to approach this. So the main thing I'm trying to fix is I'm getting this error because the class names get remangled. So there might be a simpler way to turn off the name mangling in the React app, or we might be able to since this is happening in classes that I control. These are basically the classes where this name mangling is happening is inside. Let's look in here. So here in the client app, in the models, these are really the only classes that we're serializing. So we're serializing this page model, which has, this kind of data. So we're only talking like 4 or 5 classes. So what I might do is add a decorator or something so that whenever I'm trying to figure out class names, I'm looking for a property on the class other than name, a property that's not going to get mangled when the class is changed. Like maybe add this, say this extends some serializable class, and then in the constructor we would say like super, and then we'd pass in page model like this as the name of the class, and then that's how, and then my brute force serializer would try to do that. That's the ace in the back pocket that I can use to get past this problem, but I would really like to get past it without adding complexity to the code like this, or maybe find some more elegant solution to prevent this name mangling problem. So and then last piece of advice is when you get stuck on something like this, you get to a point where it's like you feel like your idea bag is empty. Just if you can have a good night's sleep on a project like this, very often you can come back to it and have it fixed in like 5 minutes. Hans says, is this just for debug or is it part of your app's functionality? So here's the problem, Hans. So when so normally when I save these get serialized in the debug mode, it gets saved as widget container. but in the release mode, it gets saved as the mangled type name. And this would not be a problem if I only used debug or I only used production. But since I use a mix, actually, this will probably be an error in production because these mangled names are not guaranteed to be the same. Yeah, so this is generally an error. Like specifically, I'm seeing this because it's a mix between debug and production. But generally, I don't think that these type names are safe going forward in production because I could make a change that would make these type names different, and you would no longer be able to read your old things. So that's the problem. Okay, so anyway, I'll try to get myself a good night's sleep and see what we can figure this out. We solved it in ClusterFun by adding a static. Oh, did we? Did we really do that? That's interesting. Let's take a look. Git ClusterFun open code. All right, so in ClusterFun, where are we serializing? We're serializing as we like send messages across the wire. And so on the front end, there is yeah, I wish I could remember where we're doing this. Do you remember? Do you know, Hans? Do you know a search term I could look for to find where we're doing that? Game component. Message type name. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, now it's coming back to me. So when we define messages and we're serializing them, yeah. We actually did this for a different reason. It wasn't because of this build problem. It was because in the generic way that we are trying to make the functions that handle these, we didn't have a reliable way to get at this name. So yeah, that's a good point, Hans. This is slightly more complicated because the serializer may go deep, but multi-levels, and I was hoping to be able to get away with not having to have these things, but this is a good reminder that maybe that's just not possible. Okay, all right. This is plenty of seed material to plant in my brain, and pretty sure sleeping on this is going to give me some clarity. So thanks everybody for watching. It was fun. Thanks for being rubber ducks and helping me out. Talk to you later.